Hey folks, welcome to the Cocodona 2025. We've got an info session for you to release the course and talk about the runner guide for this year. We know many of you have been starting heavily on your race planning since the new year has just turned. And you may have been wondering why the 2025 course and runner guide hasn't been published yet. It's because we've been hard at work working out all the nitty-gritty details with the Forest Service to finalize this year's plan. Now we have that done, so here we go. There are numerous places on the course that, on the Cocodona course, where we pass through sensitive biological areas. There's a threatened species of plant, the Arizona cliff rose. We go through in the Verde Valley area. We go through Oak Creek, which is home to numerous species of threatened and endangered, mainly snakes, garter snakes. And then up on the Coconino Plateau, and actually in the Bradshaws and Mingus Mountain, there are Mexican spotted owls, which is an endangered species of owl. So there's numerous places on the course where we've had to work with the Forest Service to make sure that we're minimizing our impact on these species. The main one has been the Mexican spotted owl. So you can see these cute little guys here. So Mexican spotted owl mating pair on the left, and then you got the fledglings, which hatch in late April, early May. So right when we're coming through, and that's why we have to make sure we're minimizing our impact on these cute little critters, the Mexican spotted owl. So we're going to go through all of those tweaks that we've made to the course. For the most part, the course stays very similar to what we've had the past few years. There are three main areas where we've had changes to the 250 course. Those are leaving Sedona in the Schnebly to Kelly Canyon area, and then on the north side of Flagstaff in the Elden area. So I want to go through each of those with you today. I'm going to breeze through the course, but then focus on those areas of changes. So you're up to date, and then you also have the newly released runner guide, so you can get your planning started. So let's dive right in. Going to talk through the course here with you. Okay, so as I said, overall, the course stays very similar to in previous years. We're going to start. Let's start at the start. Last year we had a change to the start line. We changed to Deep Canyon Ranch. That's the same location we're going to start this year. It's a great start line for us. We leave Deep Canyon Ranch and do a little cross-country travel up the Slate Creek drainage, which is a real treat in my opinion. It's pretty rough. There's some scrambling up some little mini waterfalls, which is a really cool feature at the start of your 250-mile adventure. Same Cottonwood Creek aid station. That Cottonwood Creek aid station to Lane Mountain stretch is a extremely tough section. If you don't already know about it, now you do. It's a hard section. At that first aid station, you have to fill up with 4 liters of water. We recommend more, but 4 liters is the minimum that you have to leave Cottonwood Creek. That the first 2 water stations that you'll pass through between the first and second aid station are 1 liter top off water stations where you can only take 1 liter, and you are going to need them, especially if it's hot. That's a really tough section. None of that has changed. The section through the Bradshaws all remains the same, from Crown King, Roster Creek, Camp Kippa, Camp Wamatachik, which I just learned I had been pronouncing wrong for the past number of years. So Wamatachik, all that stays the same. You can join up with your crew and add pacers in for the 250 distance for the first time at mile 77 at Whiskey Row. We will be having Mersey Whiskey will be out providing free whiskey shots at Whiskey Row if you are so inclined. It's actually amazing whiskey, but we'll get to that later. Later as other race information comes out, we'll be telling you more about that. The course remains the same. Leaving Whiskey Row, you go through the Granite Dells at Watson Lake. All that's the same. Iron King Fan Ranch, all remain the same. The cross-country travel through the grasslands of Fan Ranch is the same. Climbing up to Mingus Mountain, dropping down, very tough set of Forest Service roads that are really rough, rocky roads, dropping down from Mingus Mountain to Jerome. That's all the same, dropping into the Verde Valley after you leave Jerome. So I guess while we're here, though, talking about your views from Mingus and all the way down to Jerome across the Verde Valley, looking at the red rock monoliths of Sedona, and then behind the San Francisco peaks of San Francisco, probably covered with snow, the views are incredible. So you're in for a treat, dropping down out of Jerome and starting to cross the Verde Valley. You're going to first cross the Verde River right before going into Dead Horse Ranch State Park aid station, and then you start your gentle climb with the views just getting better and better as you come into Sedona. Okay, so we changed up the course a couple of years ago. Coming into Sedona, you drop down near Oak Creek and then climb back up on Ridge Trail. This trail climbing up here has some of the best views you'll have on any race course, with just amazing views of Cathedral Rock and all the red rock spires of Sedona. So all that remains the same. Coming into the heart of Sedona, into the Sedona Posse Grounds Park aid station, all remains the same. From there, the course does change slightly. So, and just I'll note that the 125 distance course actually comes into a new aid station for us. It's going to be over here at Sedona Historic Ranger Park. So there's a Sedona Posse Grounds Posse Grounds aid station and a Sedona Ranger Station aid station. So there's two different aid stations. The 250 hits only the Sedona Posse Grounds aid station, just to make things a little bit confusing. So we come into that Sedona Posse Grounds aid station with amazing views throughout Sedona. We're going to leave. It's an out and back, right back to Highway 89. You're along Highway 89 for just a little bit before you jump onto some great single track, jump under 89A via a culvert, creek underpass, and then cross Highway 179 in a crosswalk here. So this is really the heart of the vortex of Sedona. So we get to kind of come in through the back streets. You're going under that underpass, so you're kind of hidden away from everything. Cross on a crosswalk, and then start your climb up Schnebly Hill Road. So in previous years, we have left the Sedona Posse Grounds Park aid station and gone through the north side of Sedona on these single track trails, crossed under the Midgley Bridge, and then crossed Oak Creek to climb up the Kasner Canyon Trail. All that was really awesome. Sorry to lose it, but we got some amazing things in its place. But we no longer cross Oak Creek. So Oak Creek is a continuous watershed throughout the year, which makes it a special place in Arizona. In the desert, to have water flowing through the desert all year long creates a unique ecosystem. There are numerous species that make Oak Creek their home, and so we've had to avoid crossing Oak Creek so that we can keep those species safe. So now, once we leave Sedona, we're going to climb up Schnebly Hill Road just for a little bit before we jump onto the Munds Wagon Trail. So we're on this single track trail climbing up the Schnebly Canyon, Schnebly Hill. This is a great single track through here, really good, amazing views out into Sedona and then up Oak Creek. So really stoked that we get to add this into our course this year. We're right along the Munds Mountain Wilderness right there. We get right up next to it. So it's awesome to be able to climb up onto the plateau, the Cocodona Plateau, via this Munds Wagon Trail. We jump back onto the Schnebly Hill Road right at the water station, which is where we join previous year's course. So the previous year's course climbed up Kasner Canyon and popped out at that water station. So we're coming from the opposite direction, hitting that water station, and then joining back up with the old course to climb up the nice gentle grade of Schnebly Hill Road all the way to a new aid station. In previous years, the Schnebly Hill aid station was on the other side of the interstate, a couple miles further down the course. We've changed the location of this aid station to stay away from some Mexican spotted owl pairs that are over here. So now Foxborough Ranch, it's a great, really cool aid station. Stoked to be able to partner with Foxborough Ranch and be able to bring the aid station there. The 125-mile distance, just so the 250 runners are aware, they stop running at Foxborough Ranch, take a shuttle up, and then restart up here at the Crystal Point Trailhead. The 250 runners get to continue on through this kind of Schnebly to Munds connection here. So these are forest roads. It's really great, nice running on these forest roads. The old course used to take us a little bit further out on the main forest road through here. Now we've like cut up a little bit faster north to get onto some really quiet forest roads. Really cool area. This area is just packed with Mexican spotted owl pairs, nesting pairs. So because of that, Forest Service has asked us to keep the number of bodies going through this area to 250, meaning all 250 runners in the 250-mile distance get to go through here, but not their pacers. So you have to drop your pacers if you have them at Foxborough Ranch, and they can join back up with you at Munds Park. So pair up with your fellow runners and get through this 13-mile section from Foxborough Ranch to Munds Park. So all this, as I said, great forest road running all the way until you drop into Munds Park on sidewalk, run down from kind of the top of Munds Park. Our old aid station in Munds Park was the golf course, Pinewood Country Club in Munds Park. They're under construction this year, so we've shifted the aid station on the other side of the interstate to the Munds Park Community Church. You're on sidewalk all the way through, right under the interstate here, and joining into the Munds Park aid station. So the 125 course joins in right here, so then you're back together, 125 and 250 course into Munds Park. You leave the church, jump back onto the forest, leaving Munds Park, go under an underpass that's a kind of a creek drainage there, underpass, and then we join back up with the old course. The old course came out of Munds Park and joined up in here. Most of this section for the 250 between Munds Park and Kelly Canyon, once you get back on the other side of the interstate, is the same as in previous years. In previous years, this was logging, nice smooth logging roads the whole way from Munds Park to Kelly Canyon. There was a year that there was a lot of blowdown of trees. We had like 15 trees that you had to go over or under in this section. Those have all been cleared. We do jump off of the main road in numerous places and jump on a single track through here to get away from Mexican spotted owl pairs. There are nests, a few nests throughout here, so we just kind of bump over to the east a little bit before jumping back onto the road. We do it again here, and then coming into Kelly Canyon Aid Station again. So you get a little mix of some quieter Forest Service roads and some single track through here that we were not on in the past. It's a really great section through here, the Kelly Canyon trails. And then from Kelly Canyon, the course stays the same again. We're crossing back under the interstate via the old Munds Road, and then jumping onto some single track that takes you into Fort Tuthill. There's a slight change through here with a trail reroute coming into Fort Tuthill, but that all stays the same. The Fort Tuthill aid station, we got a little bit of a difference than what we've had in the past. In the past, we've had crews park out here, and the aid station was inside of this quad area with where all the buildings were. And we found that most runners were coming in here and then going out to their crew vehicles for support. This parking area, the county park has worked with us to allow vehicles into the quad. So the aid station's right here. You can have your crew vehicles all throughout the quad. So it's going to be a much better feeling aid station. Okay, so now let's get into the next kind of set of changes. So after you leave Fort Tuthill, you pass by the airport on some great gravel cinder path trails before jumping onto the single track of Walnut Canyon. So the single track Walnut Canyon is just awesome single track. It's become even better the past couple of years. Forest Service has rerouted some of the section of this trail here along the rim of Walnut Canyon. Great single track. It's also home to a lot of Mexican spotted owl mating pairs. So there's a lot of nests through here, which, again, we're limited to 250 people passing through this area. So pacers can't come through. So from Fort Tuthill to Walnut Canyon is a pacerless section, just the same as Foxborough Ranch to Munds was earlier. This is a 16-mile stretch, so and you're late in your 210 to 226 mile journey in this 250. So pair up with somebody else in the race. We actually think it could end up being a really cool part of the race to have this additional challenge. We're going to spin it positively. An additional challenge to make it even harder. So really great section. We need to make sure that we have as minimal impact on these mating pairs of Mexican spotted owls as we can, so no pacers through that section. You can join back up with your crew and pacers at Walnut Canyon. Leaving Walnut Canyon aid station is the same as it's been in previous years. We do have changes up at Mount Elden. We no longer, unfortunately, have the aid station up at Mount Elden, again, because of Mexican spotted owls. But we've added 2 aid stations on either side of Elden to take its place. So we jump, the old course jumps off of Highway 66 here and onto the AZT. We quickly jump off of the AZT to head to the Picture Canyon Trailhead, and we'll actually have the Wildcat Hill aid station at the Flagstaff Fire Department Training Center. It's a really cool area, actually sandwiched between Wildcat Hill and Sheep Hill. These are both old cinder cones from the eruptions, volcanic eruptions in the Flagstaff area 1,000 years ago. Left these really interesting red cinder cone features that now are they're being mined for cinder gravel. But anyways, you can see all that. You get to pass right by Rio de Flag. Right here we cross Rio de Flag. There's a waterfall. The Rio de Flag waterfalls. There's a petroglyph site. So really cool little area that we get to see that we didn't before because we were stayed on the AZT. So stoked that we get to take you guys on that little tour through there. Jump back onto the course on the AZT, and then this is a major change for the course. In previous years, after we went under 89, we jumped off of the AZT and then we climbed up Elden Lookout Trail. You can see how many switchbacks are in this area. That was a badge of honor for our runners in previous years going up Mount Elden Lookout Trail because it's just a really steep, rocky, big steps up onto rock ledges, rough trail for your final climb before descending down into Flagstaff. We had to reverse it this year, and it's actually a really cool change for the course. So we get to climb up the new Heart Trail. There was an old trail through here called the Heart Trail. The Forest Service rerouted it a couple years ago and made it a really amazing purpose-built single track that climbs up the northeast side of Mount Elden It's a really great climb, actually. And then once you get up onto the Sunset Trail, this is a ridge line that you're running along, kind of up to the peak of Mount Elden, and this is just a really amazing section. You're going through Aspen up at 9,000 feet. It is a section of trail that I wanted to put the course on originally and just couldn't get it to work for a bunch of different reasons, but we get to be on it now, and then hit the actual summit of Mount Elden before going down the extremely tough Mount Elden Lookout Trail. So your quads are going to be destroyed coming down. I mean, they already will be destroyed, but they're going to be even destroyed or coming down Mount Elden Lookout Trail. So yeah, that's a great little change for us. So the reason for that change, we used to come down the Mount Elden Lookout Road. Again, a few Mexican spotted owl mating pairs through here that have nests. So we're just doing everything we can to try to minimize our impact on these cute little Mexican spotted owls because they're having a rough go with the state of the world as it is. So we're going to route around it. So yeah, we come down Mount Elden Lookout. Then once we drop down, we're kind of following the pipeline trails. These are single track trails with a ton of other social trails that are just junctions everywhere. So we're going to mark that really well for you. Coming into a new aid station, the Trinity Heights Church, Trinity Heights aid station, which is 4 miles out from the finish. May seem like, man, why do we have to have an aid station 4 miles out from the finish? It's really because that's a 14.7 mile stretch between Wildcat Hill and Trinity Heights, climbing up and down Mount Elden. That's a tough section through there. So, and it's right at the end of the race. So we had an aid station there at Trinity Heights, and then same coming into Buffalo Park and then dropping down into your finish at Heritage Square. So that is that's your updates for the course for 2025. The course has now been posted. The runner guide has now been posted. We've tried to trim down the runner guide anywhere we could to make it a much more concise document. And we've also pulled out a bunch of information for your pacers and crew and made a pacer and crew guide. So you'll see those. They're posted now along with this updated route. We are looking forward to seeing you in April. Thanks for being patient with us as we worked out all these details with the Forest Service. Looking forward to seeing you in May, and happy training.